All right. I talked a little bit with Coach Tamborni about this Saturday, but you guys came off of a three-game losing streak. How important was the win Saturday against Rutgers in terms of team morale?
I think it was huge for our guys. I mean, they worked extremely hard, and after coming off such a tough loss to Villanova on the road after kind of a heartbreaker at home against Ohio State, we kind of made it a point to try to end the spring break with a win. And I think that the guys came back to work on Wednesday after a long trip to Villanova. I mean, we had a 7 o'clock game that did not go very well, as you can tell by the score, and then we didn't get back to probably 1 o'clock in the morning. The guys, went to bed. We got up the next day and kind of got right back at it. We tried to put Villanova to rest, teach the things we could based on that game and the footage that we had, and put it behind us and move on. And I give the guys credit. They did do that. They worked really hard at practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get ready for Rutgers. I mean, just quick turnaround with the scouting report and to try to overcome, quite a tough road trip to be quite frank. So they did a really good job. And for morale, I think it was great just to get a win. It was close throughout the course of the game. I mean, it was 6-6 late, and then all of a sudden we kind of had a spurt offensively. Kind of closed the door defensively in the fourth quarter, which was great. Austin Count made some great saves. The defense played fairly well, and it was nice for the guys to get a win against Rutgers and get the Friendship Cup back to State College. So it was good to see.
I noticed during the past few games, the team has had some trouble completing passes and getting shots off. Have you guys been doing anything specific to work on transitioning the ball?
Yeah, it's just tough with the numbers that we have. To be totally honest, we've had some guys that are injured. We've got 35 guys in the roster, 31 are field players. And to try to get up and down the field every day has been tough, so creating those unsettled and transition opportunities haven't always been easy to practice, and we all kind of believe as a staff that that's one of the things you need to practice to be great at. You can't just flip a switch on game day and expect your guys to just get it. We've definitely done a ton of stick work. I mean, that's been a priority since January 10th. I mean, every day we segment probably 10 to 15 minutes of stick work within a course of practice. So it's something that as coaches we do get frustrated with. I think we've put a lot of time and effort into it. I don't know. We'll continue to definitely do that. I don't know if there's a certain formula that we need to use with this Penn State group that we're still trying to figure out just to get the guys to do a little extra on their own. But it's coming along. I mean, usually earlier in the season, typically, the month of February sticks for most teams are a little bit on the shaky side, and then as you get into spring break, March, the weather starts to warm up. The guys start to be able to feel their hands a little bit more. It's usually better as the year goes on. So hopefully, based on what we do at practice and the weather we will face in the next few weeks, that'll be the case with our guys. I know that's what we're hoping for anyway. So.
This week, Shane Sturgis was named CAA Rookie of the Week. This is the third time in 5 weeks that a Penn State student has received this honor. What does this mean for the future of Penn State lacrosse?
I just think it's great to see young guys that are playing humongous roles for us and getting some recognition for it. I mean, there's no doubt we have a lot of young guys playing for us, top to bottom, freshmen, sophomores. I mean, our junior class only has 4 kids in it as it is. So it's great to see that our guys, the young guys that have been put into starting roles, Austin in goal. I mean, that's huge for a freshman goalie to have such success early on. I mean, Shane's been outstanding at attack, in all 5 games. So it's just good to see, those younger guys stepping up. We put a lot of emphasis on those guys at practice, and we just say, hey, you can't necessarily play like freshmen because you are kind of the core of what we have to work with right now based on our numbers and based on injuries and that sort of thing. But it's good that they're developing some flow with some of the older offensive guys. I know Matt McCready's and Shane Sturgis have really kind of formed a nice 2-man game. Jack Forrester's back in the lineup, which is helping those 2 guys, and Billy Gribben and some veteran guys there. So it's been great to see those young guys step up. I know it's a challenge, especially in those first few games against teams like Notre Dame and Ohio State and Villanova. I mean, it's just great to see those guys stepping up. So.
And on the topic of goalies, Austin Count, he's got an 8.17 goals against average. He's got 73 saves on the season. UMass goalie Tim McCormick, he has a 7.8 goals against average and 43 saves on the season. Is this an advantage for Penn State going into the game this weekend, or is that hard to say because the UMass offense is such a powerhouse?
Yeah, I mean, UMass is definitely a talented offensive group. There's no way to hide that. I mean, there's no question. Aside from the Villanova game, and that was more as a defense coordinator, I mean, bad defense in front of Austin as opposed to bad saves. So he's been terrific. I think he's one of the best goalies in the country. I know I speak for the staff when I say that. He shows up ready to go every day. He's a confident kid who just understands the game, and he's a great goaltender. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's got short-term memory in terms of just giving up goals, and there's no question that the Notre Dame game, the Ohio State game, Rutgers. I mean, games where we gave up 6, 6, and 6 against 3 really good offensive teams. I mean, Austin, without question, was the reason for that. I mean, he's just doing a really good job, and I think that we as a staff would put him up against any goalie in the country to say he's one of the top out there, even though he's a freshman. He certainly has to, live up to those expectations from our coaching staff, but I know he puts a lot of that on his own shoulders and does a really good job of just showing up ready to go every day at practicing in games. He's a special goalie. There's no doubt about it. So we'll see. UMass is definitely talented. There's no doubt about it. They are probably as equally talented on the defensive end as they are on the offensive end. So this is a great team. There's no surprise why they're ranked 10th in the country. They've got some quality wins. They're 2 goals away from being an undefeated team in the top 10. Without that loss to Albany, that's where they'd be. So this is definitely going to be a challenge. I know UMass is certainly a tough place to go and play as a road trip, and it'll be our second time on the road, so hopefully we can have a better result than the last time.
So last year you guys lost at home to UMass 10-8. This year you're traveling to Amherst, and as you said, that's not an easy place to win. What are you guys going to need to do to get your first conference win of the season?
I think it's just the way we approach practice. There's no doubt about it. We tell our guys each week that we just need to practice at a level where it makes the offense better, the defense better, rides and clears. I mean, if we're not making each other better at practice every day and preparing ourselves to play at a high pace offensively and defensively, to make saves, to be able to clear the ball effectively, man up, man down, and all the things we work on, face-offs. If we don't practice well, that's what you see on the field. And I know coaches mentioned it in previous communication with you guys that we kind of get what we deserve. I mean, if we don't practice hard during the week, it's tough to all of a sudden flip a switch on game day, especially with all these young guys that are in the lineup. You can't just flip it on. So it comes down to our preparation this week, getting ready for UMass. I mean, playing as hard as we possibly can, doing the scouting report stuff, preparing for what UMass is able to do, but just getting better at what we do. I mean, it does really come down to Penn State at the end of the day. I mean, if we do what we're capable of based on a great week of practice, and all of a sudden we show up in game day and we're just accustomed to playing at that speed offensively, defensively. Our sticks are sharp, guys are flying around, communicating on defense. Austin's making saves. I mean, it'll put us in a much better position to win, regardless if we're at UMass or at Hofstra or at any other CAA opponent. I mean, I think that's one of the things we just got to worry about, getting better as within our own systems as we go through the course of the season. So.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck
Saturday. All right. Thank you.